Next, we'd like to have Reverend Childress come up and speak.
Hello. All right. You don't know it, you kind of feel it, but you got to understand, your time has come. Say, my time has come. Say that. Now, better yet, now you got mine, you got the personnel part of it. Now say, our time. Our time has come. Now let me explain a little bit, because it seems a little hummy-drummy here. But you have to understand that when your season and your time comes, it doesn't matter if you have a governor that's a pro-abort, that is supporting murder, or a lieutenant governor, or other assembly people, because when your time comes and your season comes, it's not about who's in office, it's about God responding to your heart and your willingness to stand for life. You know, in the scriptures, a time had come for a whole nation to be delivered for over 400 years. Thank God abortion has been going on for 400 years, but for 400 years, the children of Israel were under a very staunch oppressor. And guess what? The Pharaoh had a very, very hard heart. And a heart, unquestionably, that was not sensitive to the sanctity of life. But because their season had come, and because their time had come, it didn't matter who was sitting in the governor's office. It didn't matter who the assembly was. It meant that God had heard the people. God had heard your voice. Your time, your time. Our time has come. Victor Hugo said, you can resist an invading army, but you cannot resist an idea whose time has come. You got to recognize it's time for the sanctity of life. It's time for us now to raise up and educate a nation, just as Moses had to do, just as Aaron had to do. He had to wake the people up, to pay no attention to Governor Murphy. Pay no attention to those sitting in office supporting the facilitation of slavery and the selling of body parts and causing the anguish and pain of millions of women across the land. Our moment has come right now, and we got to get busy about our Father's business. I'm not about the governor's business. I'm not about the lieutenant governor's business. I'm going to teach enough people that he has to be about our business, and our time has come. If you haven't forgotten, it still is we the people. It's not going to be we the governor. It's we the people, and the governor and the assembly and the Senate have to get with we the people, and they have to understand we're not going away. This won't be the last rally, and we're not going to wait till January 22nd to do another one. We're going to be knocking on doors. We got a 2020 bill right now that we're going to educate the people and support wholeheartedly in harmony. Why? Please. God is still on the throne. Listen, you got a president, as the senator has basically just said, who they're trying to undermine, who they're calling racist, who they're calling everything that is demonic, so they diminish his stand for life, his willingness for righteousness, and he is a message to New Jersey that our time, our season has come. And I want to know this, let you to know this, by the way, this president has done more for black people in 1 year, for African Americans in 1 year, under great oppression, and both parties giving him hell. I shouldn't really say that, but both parties basically coming up against him. How do I say that? Well, the biggest demographic in the African American community is single mothers. Unfortunately, 70% of our homes are headed by single mothers. But guess who got the biggest tax break? Single mothers that are heading households. Let's give the president. Hey, he also doubled the tax credit. Okay? So those mothers will have help who boldly said, I'm going to live out my life covering my children. I may have erred in the process, but I will not err in the maturation process. I will cover them. I will raise them. I will educate them. And this president has given them double help in this year that they didn't get certainly in the last 8. All right? Why is that? Because our time has come. And I welcome the governor because he's going to watch it, just as Pharaoh did when he saw a people rise up and say, let my people go. You will not support an institution and continue. This state will not continually support the slaughter of the innocent. You got to call them out, call it for what it is. You got to knock on some doors and say, do not pull the lever on death. What a man sows, that shall he also reap. It was Mother Teresa said that until you can stop the violence in the womb, you will not stop the violence on the street. And so we have to recognize, you want safe streets, have safe homes. You want protection? How can America ask for protection when we have killed over 60 million innocent children legally? There has to be a repentance, and it's not going to start with this man. It has to start with you. And you have to say, I'm going to do more now because I have an oppressor sitting in the seat that is on the day of Roe versus Wade. He decides to bring forth more legislation that will support the slaughter of the innocent. You should be angry. You should say enough is enough. But I can tell you this, you watch from this day forward. Your time has come. Our season has come. And the walls of oppression and the walls that will go a wall up in the West, but the walls of oppression around Planned Parenthood are coming down. And they know it's coming down. And this is all done by legislators to intimidate you. We're going to pass these bills. So what? We're going to come forth with our pro-death legislation. What they cannot stop is the feet of the saints of God who will march and continually confront this culture, continually knock on doors, continually have their voices heralded, because your weapons are not cardinal. You are mighty through God, and you will prevail. You will prevail. Why? Our time has come. Now, let the governor know right now, our time has come. Our time has come. Remember Gomer Pyle? I can't hear you. Our time has come. God bless you.